For more on this disturbing trend in the nation's security space, let's speak with the head of Department Communication Studies, Catholic Institute of West Africa, Reverend Father Gerald Musa, who joins us live from Port Harcourt. Thank you very much for joining us on TVC News at 7. Well, I rejoice with you on the release of Reverend Father Emmanuel Silas, and on the other hand, I commiserate with you over this sad incident in recent time. How is the church coping with this development?
Well, the church is coping in different ways regarding this development. And one of the ways it is coping is in tightening security. But again, there is not much that the church can do regarding tightening of security, because it is the responsibility of government to take care of its citizens, particularly in the area of security.
Of government. But in recent time, has there been any direct appeal, meeting, calls for intervention being offered by the church, particularly to the government in this regard?
Yes, there are different steps that the church has taken in this regard. The Catholic bishops have spoken at different times and in different fora. Some dioceses have organized security seminars and all that to safeguard their churches and to enlighten their members about how to be security conscious. There was a time when the church organized a nationwide protest to protest against this incessant killing of priests, worshippers, and innocent citizens.
As it stands, at different times,
so there's still more that the church is doing.
Okay, you mentioned there is still more the church can do. And what are these?
Sorry?
You mentioned just now that there is still more that the church can do. Could you kindly highlight those?
Yeah, when we talk about what the church can do as regards security, is for the leaders to continue to talk. And like we said, the security matter in this country is not only about the kidnapping of priests, but we are in an abnormal or unusual situation in this country whereby citizens in this country are very much afraid of traveling. Citizens in this country, and many of them, are afraid of going to their home villages. And those who are outside this country, outside the shores of this country, are afraid of coming in. So the church, as well as other citizens and leaders, have to keep on talking to the government, have to keep calling the attention of the government. We have had, for example, in one of the states in the country where one of the governors or the government asked the citizens to carry up arms or to go or to purchase their arms. We know that this has gotten to a very depressing state, and we know that is the worst that it can get to. Remember that the government has abdicated its responsibility in providing basic amenities such as water. The citizens are providing water for themselves. The citizens are providing light for themselves. And now the government is telling us to provide security for ourselves. And we need leaders, not just political leaders, but we need religious leaders. We need leaders of non-governmental organizations to speak vehemently against this. Otherwise, the trend continues and nobody challenges this government or the government to take up its responsibility of security.
I totally understand your frustration with the development, Father Musa. As it stands now, you have made a call to not just political leaders, but all and sundry to get up and do something about this. But what is your specific call at this time to people who are perpetrating this violence? What word do you have for them?
Well, for those who are perpetrating this violence, must know that we are blessed as a nation. And we hear so many depressing news from other parts of the country where they are, many people are killed by all kinds of natural disasters. We are blessed as a country, and yet we are inflicting injuries upon ourselves. And for those who are perpetrating this violence for different reasons, whether for ritual killings, whether for religious purposes, whether for financial or monetary gains, would want to tell them to desist from such actions, because as it stands now, the country is rated as one of the most dangerous countries to live in. It is not a good news to hear. And I think these are all self-inflicted injuries. We are inviting investors to come and invest in our country to curb the high rate of unemployment. How do we curb the high rate of unemployment? How do we invite investors to come and invest in our country when we are making our country so insecure? There are all kinds of theories about those who are perpetrating this violence. But all we can say is at this time, especially when we're preparing for the 2023 elections, that politicians who also contribute in different ways should desist in dividing people and in making the country tensed as a result of their political ambitions.
I sincerely appreciate you, Reverend Father Gerald Musa, Head Communication Studies, Catholic Institute of West Africa. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on TVC News at 7.